Sara's Weeknight Meals is made possible by Sunsweet and...
Cooking is the first kind of love you know. It was starting when I was a child with my grandmother doing fresh pasta, and now I transmit it to all the guests. It's something made especially for them.
Oceana Cruises, proud sponsor of Sara's Weeknight Meals.
Today on Sara's Weeknight Meals, it's all about Southern home cooking.
If you're looking for the lost foodways of the Old South, you couldn't come to a better place than right here in Charleston, South Carolina. It has one of the hottest culinary scenes in the country and a tradition of time-honored recipes that celebrate the history of low-country life.
We found some good ones cooking at the tea room at Grace Cathedral.
The iconic pimento cheese, yes. And then we're going to be making crab soup. Yes. Because life is short, we're going to start with dessert, a Huguenot torte. What is that?
Oh,
Could I offer you ladies some dessert?
Then we're off to Crawley, Louisiana.
You know, if there's one thing they know here in Southwest Louisiana, it's how to eat and how to party.
But before that, we're catching crawfish the Cajun way.
Wow, look at those guys. So they're all different sizes.
For a home-cooked crawfish etouffee.
We got the water boiling and boiled them for 3 minutes.
Boiled them. For other people, we boiled them.
Okay.
We boiled them. We boiled them. Okay.
However you say it, we're here for a good time. Southern home cooking today on Sara's Weeknight Meals. To many of us, Charleston, South Carolina is the soul of the Old South. It's easy to lose yourself wandering its gracious streets and gaslit alleys. It's a foodie town, too, with great old traditions that started long before hot new restaurants came on the scene. Charleston has a wonderful tradition of church tea rooms. Every spring, churches throw open their doors and serve lunch to tourists and locals as a charity fundraiser. Susan Cromwell runs the tea room at Grace Church.
We set up out here and also inside, but many people eat out here. It's so pretty out during the spring.
And
it's
the whole church gets involved?
The whole church volunteers.
Wow. So I'm really excited to be making these dishes. I've never made any of these. These are all Southern, right?
Yes, yes.
So we're starting with the iconic pimento cheese.
Yes.
And then we're going to be making crab soup.
Yes.
And actually, because life is short, we're going to start with dessert, a Huguenot torte. What is that?
A Huguenot tart is a dessert that's really not a tart, but it's like a cake.
This is what we're going to bake it in?
Okay, and I'll butter it.
You want me to break these eggs?
Yes, if you'll break the eggs and whip them, I'll get started by buttering the pan.
Okay, but how did it get its name, the
Well,
Huguenot?
it's interesting because it comes from an Ozark pudding that was a Bess Truman recipe.
Oh, that's Missouri, though.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
It is. And a woman here named it the Huguenot tart after the Huguenot tavern where she cooked dessert.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm gonna beat these, so that's
okay.
gonna make a racket.
Go ahead and beat that.
And
I'll measure the peel the apples and measure them while you're doing that.
Okay.
And chop the pecans.
Okay, so we need a cup of each of those,
Yes.
I believe. Okay, here we go. So, Susan, what do you think? Does that look pretty good? Thick and lemon color?
Yeah, that looks great. Would you like to go ahead and get the pecans started?
I sure would. All right, we got a couple of these.
We have quite a few varieties of desserts each day, but the Huguenot tart seems to be one of the most popular.
These look like they were Granny Smith apples, is
Yes.
that right? You like the tart apples?
Yes, like the tart apples. So,
Okay, let me see. So sugar,
yes.
we need about a cup and a
cup
half?
and a half.
We need a quarter cup of flour.
Flour.
And then,
A teaspoon of vanilla.
okay, and you want to add the salt. What do we-
Okay, and it's 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
And it all just goes in here, huh?
Yep, just mix it in.
Wow, this is what we refer to lovingly as a dump recipe.
Yes, it is sort of a dump recipe.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
You need 2½ teaspoons of the baking powder,
Okay.
and then I would just mix it with the spatula.
Okay, I got one right here. All right, and then this all goes in?
Well, about a cup. All right, I think that should be enough. Then we just want to go ahead and place it in the pan.
Okay. This is so funny, we're both left-handed.
I know.
How often does that happen?
Not often. Well,
You know, we're very creative.
but you know, it's interesting. A lot of our helpers here in the kitchen are left-handed. So
I think
that's,
cooks are.
Yeah.
You know?
And interesting. I've never thought of that.
Because we're so creative.
That's right.
Yes, we are. Okay, so now this goes into a...
325 oven for about 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay, so let's go.
I'll go
pop
ahead
it
and
in.
pop it in the oven.
So it's time for crab soup, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of our most popular dishes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, we start by chopping up the celery and the onion and sauteing it in butter.
Oh, okay, so I'll get some butter?
Yeah.
We need what, about 5 tablespoons?
Yes, 5 tablespoons.
And how much of the celery and onion?
It's a half cup of chopped celery and a half cup of chopped
Okay.
onion.
So let me ask you while we're chopping away.
Okay.
What is this tea room business? I
Well-
mean, I think of tea rooms, I think of England and sipping tea and having scones. But this is different.
Yes, it is, and it's very traditional here in Charleston, and usually it's done in the spring, and various churches put on these tea rooms. Some just serve tea and desserts. Many of them serve tea or drinks and lunch. It's more of a lunch thing, and these are all over Charleston. Our church has been doing it for 26 years.
Woo, is that all?
Yep, and
Whoa.
we are open for 11 days during the Spoleto Music and Arts Festival in the spring.
So you do this every day?
Every day for 11 days,
Make
yes.
massive amounts of food?
Massive amounts of food. We average about 400 people for lunch every day.
Wow. And who comes? Is it locals?
It's
is it
local
tourists?
and tourists. We have people who come every year, and they just love the homemade dishes.
Okay, so while that cooks, so we're going to thicken the soup, right?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
so some cornstarch, I think
And milk. It's just one
1/4 of a cup.
quarter of a
Okay,
cup.
good. And then, what is it? It's 5 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon and 2 teaspoons. There we go. All righty. So this cornstarch will help to stabilize it. So let's talk about the crab. You usually use like these huge canned crab, right?
Yes. It's just one cup of crab.
So isn't this normally a she crab soup, and what does that mean?
Well, she crab soup is what it used to be because they would add the roe from the crabs. But today we just use the pasteurized crab.
Okay, so we'll just let that cook for half a second. Okay, so now we're going to get all the dairy in there, right?
2 cups of half and half.
Okay, and I'll add that right in.
Okay.
So does anybody ever do it with fresh crab? I mean, like...
You know, I'm sure there are some people who, if they have a lot of patience and a lot of crab.
2 1/4 of milk.
Okay, so
A lot of dairy. Alrighty, so then I should add this now.
yes, definitely add that.
Not a full rolling
no.
boil.
And you should whisk it in
Cornstarch,
and milk so it spills out.
so it doesn't clump. And then we just let it cook.
That's right. Turn this, turn it on low and let it just simmer for a while.
All right, so should we season it?
Yes, we can go ahead and we'll add the Worcestershire,
Okay. Half a teaspoon.
half a teaspoon of Worcestershire.
All right, and then we've got, this is the traditional seafood seasoning
Yes.
that you all use
Yes.
down here.
And it's that's a very important step.
Most important ingredient,
Yeah.
yeah. The one that everybody uses in
Yeah.
the South. I did a heaping teaspoon. It's
That's-
supposed to be a teaspoon and a quarter.
Add some salt and pepper.
Yeah, we haven't added any salt to this
No,
yet.
we haven't. And then some pepper.
Okay. So it simmers for about 12 to 15
Yeah.
minutes? And we're just letting it sort of all come together. Okay, so we have one more thing to make, the pimento cheese. Shall we
Okay.
get started
Sure.
on that? You want me to grate this cheese?
Yes, please.
This
That would
is
be
8
great.
ounces?
8 ounces of cheese.
And what kind of cheese?
You want to use a very sharp cheddar. Cheddar cheese, pimentos, and mayonnaise.
It's that simple.
That's simple. Yeah. So, but,
All right.
All right, this is a half a cup of pimentos. Okay.
And what was I going to say? What if you, just for the heck of it, I know I'm being naughty again. I
Okay.
may already asked you about roasted
All
red
right.
peppers. Supposing you had a couple of different kinds of leftover cheese in the fridge that you wanted to use up.
I mean, I'm sure you could, but we just find that
It's not pimento.
best is just to use a really sharp
cheddar
cheddar.
cheese.
It holds up well, and it just makes a really good sandwich.
Yeah. Okay. So now, how much mayonnaise?
Well, it's just, we're going to start with 1/4 cup of mayonnaise and see how that works. You just want it at a good consistency to spread. This doesn't look like much, so we may need to add more.
Do you want me to
Yeah, you
stir?
Don't mind.
So I bet this would be good in a grilled cheese sandwich.
It makes a great grilled cheese sandwich. And also, a lot of places put it on a cheeseburger. We'll use pimento cheese instead
heaven.
of regular cheese.
So should we make a few sandwiches?
Okay, let's make a couple
Now,
of
do you usually make them small or you make them large?
Well, you can do either. You can use cut them into fours for a tea sandwich, or you can just cut them in half.
Let's do tea sandwiches.
Okay, I think we should.
Since we are ladies who lunch.
Okay, we're ladies at lunch.
Okay. So, do you want me to pile it on? You'll
Yeah,
spread it?
and I'll spread a little mayo. You have to put a little more mayo, always
more
on the
mayo.
side. Of course.
This is not the low-cal version.
No, it's not.
No. And why would you?
None of the food at our tea room is very low-cal, I don't think.
Okay, then. This is generous.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want a nice thick sandwich.
And then I will set up the soup. So normally you'd put another little dash of sherry in there.
Yeah, when you serve it,
Okay.
we usually serve it with a carafe of sherry and let people decide, on their own whether they would like a thing. Would you hand me that
Yes,
knife,
I
please,
will.
and I'll
Here you
cut
go.
that.
So I'm so excited to be making pimento cheese because this is one of those iconic things you see all over the South. So I'll just get our soup here. Oh, this really does smell wonderful. All right, shall we head out?
Okay.
So should we try one of our sandwiches?
Everybody.
Yummy. Oh, so good.
I think the crab soup really turned out well.
Oh,
Could I offer you ladies some dessert?
Isn't that
It
one
is
beautiful
delicious.
dessert? But I think I have to hold on. But why don't you grab one and join us?
Okay.
Yes, I like that idea.
You
Yes.
twisted my arm.
I will. Let's have a toast, ladies. Yes. Oops, and you can also yes. Here's a fork.
Oh, thank you.
Life is slow and easy in southwest Louisiana, and here in Crawley, the rice fields of summer are flooded for a second crop of crawfish, the hugely popular local delicacy. Randy Thibodeau is a third-generation farmer who took me on a crawfishing trip on his family farm. They were among the original Cajun settlers.
Been here since the mid-1700s, and the reason why they came here because they were expelled or exiled from Nova Scotia because they didn't.
Expelled?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they didn't adhere to the rules of the Queen of England.
Ah.
So most of the French descendants around here all came from Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. So they all spoke French when they
Yeah,
came
they
here.
all spoke French when they came here.
You're a real Cajun.
And it takes Cajun ingenuity to catch crawfish. Locals use homemade flat-bottom boats with giant gears that literally push us across Randy's 10,000 acres.
We do rice, soybeans, and crawfish, and everything is rotated every year, We harvested the rice in July and August, and now we're crawfishing it.
How did you come up with the idea of rotating these crops?
Basically, the crawfish was native to this area, and when we would drain our rice fields, we'd actually see them coming out of the rice field. We would try to catch what we could, but we just captured enough to have a party, so. But then eventually we found a way.
Oh, geez, let's make this into a regular crop. Yeah, let's encourage that.
Okay, this is our actual crawfish trap we actually put a bait in here, and the crawfish come through these flutes and they get trapped in there, and then they'll stay. They can't get out that way.
Okay,
So
what kind of bait do you use?
we use a pogie today. So put this fish in there, and we actually put it back in the water and let it set for a day or so, and it'll attract the crawfish too.
Now, how do you get the crawfish in here to begin with? I mean,
Actually, it takes a small stock and you put them along the levees.
so then they procreate.
Yeah, when we drain the fields, and they bury it down, and then when we reflood in October, that's when they come back up.
And what do they eat?
They actually can eat the microorganisms off the rice stalk.
5 months later, between January and April, the crawfish are large enough to harvest.
Wow, look at those guys. So they're all different sizes.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for in a crawfish?
This is what we're actually looking for, this size crawfish right here. You're actually looking for the size of the tail because the fat is real good in these tender crawfish. When the pinchers start getting big, they don't have quite as much fat.
And how many do you end up harvesting total?
We like to get up to about 700 pounds to the acre.
The crawfish have another purpose, along with native ducks and geese: natural land conservation.
The wildlife and the crawfish actually help us clean up these fields to start for a cleaner crop for the following year.
Of rice.
Of rice.
They eat the weeds.
They eat the weeds.
All right, so we're going to actually cook these guys up, right?
That's right. Make an etouffee this afternoon.
All right, let's head back.
We're off to make a hearty meal of crawfish etouffee, featuring Randy's family recipe.
And now Randy's going to show me how to make a classic Cajun dish called...
Crawfish etouffee.
Of course. All right, but we got to start with the rice,
That's right.
We're going to make rice in a rice cooker?
Okay, that's right.
Wow, well, you know, I'm rice impaired, so I think this is what I need to get. And how many cups are we making here?
We should make at least 5.
1 cup of raw rice equals 3 cups of cooked rice. We're making 15 cups of rice?
That's right.
And this is local rice?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually grown on my farm.
This is your rice. Doesn't get much more local than that. Okay, and this is 5 cups. All right, now, how much water? This is where I always get flummoxed. How much water?
When you get it this deep over the rice.
Okay, does that work the same for me? I'm going to say that's an inch. Okay, there we go. Is that good? Perfect. And that's your impeccably clean finger. We boiled that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good. Okay, so now what happens? You have to, this is electronics, so you're going to have to show me you program this. You put the lid on.
It's not snapped.
Oh, we have snapped it. Okay, I'm going to move this down. You're going to set that up.
Okay, now it's on.
All right, so how long does this take?
At least 15 minutes cooking, then it takes 5 to 10 minutes just letting it sit there.
So while that's doing its thing, we're going to get the vegetables going, right?
Yes.
Okay. You got a big old pot there.
Yeah.
That's cast iron,
Yeah,
huh?
it's cast iron.
All right, so we said just a little bit of butter we start with, 2
exactly
sticks. Salted or unsalted?
Either way, it don't
You don't
matter.
care?
No.
Okay, a little bit of butter goes in. And now you like cast iron because it's even temperature?
Even temperature, and it just your food tastes better.
Your food tastes better. Okay then, all righty, I like that. So we've got 3 large onions chopped there.
That's right.
Okay, and then this is about 3/4 of a cup. I measured.
Okay.
You don't measure. I had to measure so
know.
people could make this. 3/4 of a cup of finely diced green pepper, and then we have 1 cup of sliced celery.
Celery.
Yeah, finely sliced. Okay, good. And now these 3 items, these 3 vegetables are used a lot in Cajun cooking.
Oh, we use it in everything. We call it the Holy Trinity.
Really?
Yes.
So this is sort of like in French cooking, they have mirepoix, which is celery, onions, carrots. But you ditch the carrots for the pepper.
That's right.
Okay, and this is roughly the proportions you like them in. So a lot of onions. So here we go. Boy, nothing better than the smell of butter.
That's right. And onions.
You use a lot of butter in Cajun cooking, don't you?
Yes, we sure do. It's
No, it's your French heritage.
Yes.
So we're going to cook these covered.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do your thing. From what I understand, when you cook that way, all the flavor stays in there.
That's right.
How long do we cook these?
Probably about 15 minutes.
Okay, so now you're going to show me how to peel crawfish.
We washed them first. We got the water boiling and boiled them for 3 minutes.
Okay, I have to translate for people who don't speak Cajun. Boiled them. For other people, we boiled them.
Okay.
We boiled them. We boiled them. Okay. And then what happens?
Then you want to peel it, so you push it in a little bit and you twist it.
You push it in. Oh, that's a good trick.
And then.
I should try that. Oops. No, I already lost some. I'm fired.
That's all right.
Oh no, I got it.
You got it.
Okay.
Then you pull it out like this, and then you take out the vein.
Oh, okay. It's like shrimp.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we make the etouffee, and that's actually a really important question.
Yeah.
What is an etouffee?
Etouffee is a smothered seafood dish. and this is considered seafood.
So smothered because it's cooked low and slow.
Low and slow.
With mostly the lid on.
That's right.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, now we're gonna check the pot. Damn. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
And how do you know?
They all clear. They're getting clear, you see?
It's getting translucent, yeah.
And you don't want it to start darkening.
No color.
See, yeah.
Okay, what can I pass here?
Okay, we need the crawfish.
Crawfish comes?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, boy. And what we got there is about 3 pounds.
3 pounds.
Of tails.
Tails. We need to add some seasoning.
Okay. So we've got some local seasoning here,
Yeah,
right?
well, there's local blended seasonings.
How much? I'll let you do it. I'm watching you.
I don't usually measure.
I'm watching you. I know this goes against your nature.
Yeah.
You just throw it in there. That looked like a heaping tablespoon to me. Oh, that's another tablespoon. All right, this is gonna be spicy. So
No.
what's in there? So there's salt and
Black pepper and red pepper.
maybe garlic powder a little
Yeah.
bit or something. And then we also have some fresh garlic too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Might have to add a little water.
Do we do that now or later?
I would add a little bit right now.
Okay. All right, here we come. You say when?
That's good.
Okay. So we just let this
Yeah.
cook nice
Yeah.
and slow.
Yeah.
For what?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, great. Now I know we have to get a few garnishes together, right?
Yeah, yes, onion tops.
You call these onion? I call these scallions.
Well,
Onion tops. Okay. Well, you got your own way of doing
Yeah,
things.
they got-
Okay. Speaking of your own way of doing things here in Cajun country, tell me more about Cajun cooking. Like, what are your other dishes?
we love to cook sauce pecans, gumbos, shrimp Creole, catfish couvillon, all these different types of dishes.
And now, what's the difference between Cajun and Creole?
The Creoles use a lot of tomatoes in the different dishes, and we very seldom use tomatoes.
Oh,
And
okay.
tomatoes and basil and thyme and stuff like that. We kind of leave that out.
Stay away from that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
But-
So what else makes a Cajun besides the food?
They're born that way. I guess it's our lifestyle too. We don't live a fancy lifestyle, but we live a good lifestyle.
You don't live a fancy but a good. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do you define a good
And-
lifestyle? I'm interested.
Everything is surrounded by food. I mean,
I applaud that
every time we entertain ourselves, food is involved. You go to the football game, you got to have food. You go to a wedding, you have food. You go to a funeral, you're gonna have food after the funeral.
All right, so we got a bunch of parsley chopped, and we need a little thickening, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna use cornstarch.
Cornstarch.
The reason we're doing this is because his lovely wife is gluten intolerant. So for those of you out there who are, this is a good way to go. So we need what? Two of these guys, 2 tablespoons,
Yeah.
and then just some water.
Yeah, just some water.
And we're just setting this up. We won't add this till
Yeah.
later.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
And a little bit of water. You say when.
Let's try to stir that up and see what it looks
will.
like. That's
Okay.
it. That's good.
Here, I'll let you do that.
It's gonna be good. Okay, it's time to check it. So I think it's all good. We put this cornstarch mixture. So we got that done. So Sarah, now you can hand me the onion tops and parsley.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stir that up a little bit. We got the seasoning right.
So you think the rice is ready?
Oh yeah, the rice is definitely ready because it was steaming a while ago, so. I get that.
We just need a little taste right now because we're gonna have our guests coming soon.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Oh, look at how perfect that is. I understand sometimes you make this and serve it on a steak for your son.
Yeah, for special occasions.
That does seem a little over the top to me. That's definitely surf and turf. Here's your
Yeah.
spoon.
Okay.
Kind of hot, but it's so delicious. I love the seasoning.
Thank you. Okay, now that we got everything ready, we're gonna get ready for our guests.
I think so.
All right.
You know, if there's one thing they know here in Southwest Louisiana, it's how to eat and how to party. I'm Sara Moulton here with Randy Thibodeau and all of his delightful friends. I'll see you next time for some more of Sara's Weeknight Meals. Okay.
For recipes and videos, go to our website, saramoulton.com. Sara's Weeknight Meals is made possible by Sunsweet and
Cooking is the first kind of love you know. It was starting when I was a child with my grandmother doing fresh pasta, and now I transmit it to all the guests. It's something made especially for them.
Oceana Cruises, proud sponsor of Sara's Weeknight Meals.